Joining now video 6 of week 4. Welcome back. In this video, we'll apply the profitability measures to GREMLIN in 1996. To do so, we will need the P&L, the profit and loss, and the balance sheet of the company. Let's start with calculating ROCE, return on capital employed. In the P&L, you find the operating profit, that is in 1996, 1,873. We need the tax rate, which you find easily by looking at taxes, 679, and dividing them by the pre-tax profit of 1,911. So 679 divided by 1,911, you find 35.5%. Then, looking at the balance sheet, you get net fixed asset plus net working capital. We have done the calculation in week 3, remember? And you find 1,419. So therefore, the ROCE is equal to operating profit, 1,873, multiplied by 1 minus 0.355, 35.5%, the tax rate, divided by 1,409, the capital employed. And you find 85%. Not bad at all. Let's compute now the return on equity. Net profit over equity. Very simple. Net profit in the P&L, 1,232, divided by equity, 2,514. And we find 49%. So here, interesting, the ROE, the return on equity, is lower than the return on capital employed. Why? Because GREMLIN is exactly in the situation of Group 3, which we saw in video 4 this week. The net financial debt is negative, as GREMLIN has cash and cash equivalent of 1,095 and no financial debt. So GREMLIN has more cash than debt. In fact, the equity provided by the shareholders equal to 2,514 is used partially in the operation of the business for 1,409, and this one are returning the 85% that you have found earlier. And the remaining 1,095 is invested in short-term deposits or security, returning 3.5%. How do I know that it's 3.5%? Because I look at the financial income in the P&L, you see it, 39, and dividing it by 1,095, I get 3.5%. I have generated 39 of financial income on the 1,095 of cash and cash equivalent that I've invested. What is the self-sustainable growth of GREMLIN in 1996? Remember the formula? SSG, self-sustainable growth, is equal to the ROE multiplied by 1 minus the dividend payout ratio. So, SSG, self-sustainable growth, is equal to 49%, ROE multiplied by 1 minus 0.30, 32%. And the whole thing is equal to 33%. How did I find the 32%? 32% is 400, the amount of dividends, divided by the net profit of 1,232. So this is the percentage of the net profit which has been paid in dividend. So what does it mean? It means that GREMLIN could grow at roughly 33% without distorting, without changing its financial structure. But remember, GREMLIN is growing at more than 50%. We said that earlier, we saw that in the first weeks. So we are in the case where self-sustainable growth is lower than the actual growth. And no surprise that GREMLIN will need to find resources outside. And things are not going to get better. They're in fact going to deteriorate in the next years. Why don't you do the same calculation that we do for 1996? Why don't you do that for 1997 in 1998 and tell me what you think in our next live session. It's a great opportunity for you to practice. And remember, what is important in feature analysis is practice, practice, and practice again.